Yep, right there. Okay, so today we're going to be building a base camp. I've found my location. It's a little bit messy. There's tons of logs and stuff that I have to kind of move around and clean up. My plan here is to have somewhere to come and hunt and camp. Mostly camp. Basically just going to construct a normal lean-to type shelter. Kind of clear out a spot for a fire pit as well, even though there is a fire ban. Let me show you the area. Okay, so here we are. The main thing that I'm gonna have to clean up is this beautiful fallen pine tree here. I will be using that for building materials, and I will probably try and use some of these boughs as some sort of camo. Pine doesn't really make super great bedding, unfortunately. It's because it doesn't have really as much loft as something like spruce would. So my main plan is to set up the lean-to right here, going from this tree to this tree, and then this area right up here as the fire pit. Again, I got to clean all these logs out of here, kind of flatten the ground out a little bit. So there's a lot of work to be done here, obviously. Today's plan is mostly just clean it and get some logs ready to build the shelter. This is a work in progress. I don't know if I'm even going to keep it here. There's a logging road down there and a dirt bike trail up there, so I don't really know how busy it's going to be. Hopefully they're done logging, and hopefully this area kind of stays quiet, but who knows. Okay, so bit of a change of plan here. I think I'm just going to leave this area. There is a spot that I was at last weekend that is literally maybe about half a kilometer as the crow flies that way. It was a really nice spot that I for sure think would be a good campsite. The only thing was finding a way there, because there's no real trail without going all the way around. So I'm going to see how the logging road is, last time I was on it, it was super sticky, kind of like clay, sticky and sinky as well. So I think I'm just gonna hang out here for a couple more minutes, relax, and then hike down there and kind of see how it is. Navigating through this stuff can be pretty tricky. Just even if you think the ground is flat underneath, it's not. Thankfully I'm out of it now and getting into flatter but a lot softer of a section, so hopefully it's not actually swampy. Okay, so this is the spot. The reason I chose this was because it's obviously really nice and open. The trail is about maybe 75 to 100 yards, which around here you can't even see. And yeah, you got a nice view of the clearing down here. It's pretty nice spot to sit and enjoy the sun. So for tools, I have a couple different items with me that will be handy. I brought my 17-inch Fiskars axe. It's the X11 model, nothing fancy, but I've used these axes quite a bit and I really like them. They got a good wedge on them. Got that guy, and I have two different saws with me. This is my Sven saw. I'll show you how it sets up in a minute. I love it because it's great for bucking up big pieces of wood, especially dry pieces, and it folds up into nothing. I usually put this with my tent poles. And lastly is the saw that I use for work is just a Silky Zubat. It's really great because the teeth are a lot smaller, super sharp, and it's good for more of a back cut, where the Sven saw is better for pushing. Yeah, it's good for the smaller fine bits. So they each have their use. They both weigh nothing at all, so I figured why not. It's not like I'm trying to save on weight or anything, so it'll be worth it in the long run. So I just found the cutest little deer shed that I've ever seen. Look how tiny it is. Here's my hand next to it. Just for some reference. It's so small. Okay, so I found a spot to put the lean-to. Now, it doesn't look like much, but I'm basically going to use this tree and that tree right there to, yeah, basically just build the lean-to in between them. I can use that one back there to use as a support for the back of the shelter. So I do have a bit of cleaning up to do, though. This big dead pine tree has to come out. It shouldn't be too bad. That'll be a lot of firewood and building material. And these two small aspens have to also come out. They're dead anyway, so that's okay. I don't like taking live wood. It's basically just cleaning that up, trying to flatten it out a bit, and then find some rocks for a fire pit, even though fire pit isn't really necessary at the moment, obviously because of the fire ban. So save that for another day. But yeah, good to get my gloves on and get to work. Wow, that's pretty solid. Just get rid of this rotten log here. Should only take a couple chops. Oh yeah. First one went through it anyway. The other two were for fun. Do that. Okay, so now let's cut it nice and flush. Okay, so show you what the Sven saw is all about. Really nice, you just take this wing nut off the bottom here. Careful not to lose it like I have once. Blade comes out. And put it in corresponding holes and then screw that wing nut back in. Easy as that. The only thing that I really don't like about this is that it's pretty loud, which is unfortunate being all metal, which, you know, is what it is. It cuts well, so you kind of just deal with the sound, and it is a good saw, so it's kind of worth it. That and the blade is getting a little warped. If you kind of don't tighten it enough or tighten it too much, it can kind of affect that. So I think I just need a new blade. I've had this saw for about 4 years now, and I love it. It's great. But see if it makes short work of this log. The only downside to the Sven saw is that you can only cut pieces that are a little bit shorter than that. Like I can't even, it's hard to get a full stroke when the log is that big. It works, but obviously it kind of limits the size that you can cut. So I'm kind of starting to put it in the ground now, so see if I can't just lift it up. There we go. Oy. So there's a couple more to go, so let's get those ones over with. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up for this video. Unfortunately, my camera battery is about to die, if it hasn't already. So, yeah, I cleared the logs from the ground there. The space is pretty much ready for me to start building the shelter, really, except for that spruce tree that I have to take down, which I'm probably gonna do right now. Use up the rest of my battery to do that. If not, it'll be shot on the GoPro. So yeah, it was a decent first day. I mean, kind of wasted a bunch of time at the first spot there, which is, you know, it is what it is. I have a hard time making up my mind sometimes. So I think this spot will work out pretty well though. There's an ATV just down there to see, so we'll see if they end up over here and see if they see us or I see them. So yeah, gonna leave it at that. Thanks for checking it out, and we'll see you in the next one. Yep, right there.